Hi, I'm here to talk about The Dark Knight Rises, which is a film that I don't like as much as Batman Begins when it comes to Christopher Nolan's Batman films. Comparing it to The Dark Knight, I think it has some sort of similar problems, in my opinion. In some ways, I think it's more entertaining than The Dark Knight, but in other ways, The Dark Knight Rises does feel like it's a less upbeat film than The Dark Knight. And like in The Dark Knight, there's stuff story wise and character wise that I'm not the biggest fan of. Um, Bruce Wayne giving up being Batman for a while, I think, makes perfect sense because of what he went through in The Dark Knight. Um, but it feels like things feel kind of vague, where it felt like he wasn't doing that much for 8 years, and I feel like there's some questionable things about that. I feel like Alfred would have stood up more to Bruce Wayne if at some point. I feel like it would have not taken so long for him to finally confront Bruce Wayne about not being able to move on. Um, and I feel like there's certain things that feel a little bit questionable. Like if Bruce Wayne isn't being Batman, I feel like he should have more time to focus on charity work and helping others. But I felt like he was not paying attention to some people that needed some help until John Blake informed him of that, and that felt very odd. And I'm really not a big fan of Rachel Dawes, so I'm not the biggest fan of Bruce Wayne giving up so much, not focusing on being Batman because of what happened to Rachel. Um, I understand that he really cared about her, but um, I don't know. I felt like a little bit much considering I never really bought Bruce and Rachel's chemistry that much, unfortunately. Um, but there is some good stuff in the film. Tom Hardy is entertaining to watch as Bane. Funny, he's memorable. I really like his voice. The voice certainly stands out and doesn't really feel appropriate in the Dark Knight Rises, but neither does Batman's voice. And it helps add some large amount of entertainment value. Anne Hathaway, I think, gives a lot of personality to Catwoman. I think she helps bring a certain level of energy to the film. Alfred is really good in the film. Michael Caine got to feel like an emotionally moving, great performer in the film, and it's clear that he cares so much about Bruce Wayne, is really trying to help him, and Alfred has such a emotionally impactful scene towards the end of the film, and I love the very last scene that he has. A very quick scene, but I think it's beautiful. It's emotionally impactful. It's so wonderfully directed and shot. I love that. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is really likable as John Blake. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, great actor. Love seeing him and stuff. And although his character does take up a lot of screen time and stuff, at least his character is likable. At least the actor is really good. And I would have liked to see his story continue, but for what he gets in Dark Knight Rises, it's really good. Um, Gary Oldman as Gordon, really good interactions with Batman. It's clear they really care about each other. Morgan Freeman, I feel like he doesn't get a lot to do with Lucius Fox in the film, but he's good for what he gets to do. There's a couple of really cool cameos that I like. There is a big twist uh, involving the big villain plan, and I felt like the villain twist should have happened earlier in the film so that the true big mastermind character could have been explored better. So I do think that is a missed opportunity. A lot of the action scenes are really good and look really exciting, and I think they're really well directed and everything. Um, and I do think it's a film that I think I get somewhat more enjoyment from than The Dark Knight, even though I do think the film does drag somewhat in the middle with Bruce Wayne being in the pit place. I think that does slow down a lot of the pacing and tone of the movie, but I do think that The Dark Knight Rises has some cool, memorable stuff, some emotional moments, and some memorable performances. Uh, I don't think it works as well as Batman Begins and some of the other Batman films, though, but there are a lot of elements to it that I like.